Hello everyone, my name is Brooke Tyndall and this is my final exam presentation. Question 1. The Federalist Papers were a series of 85 essays written by Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. The Federalist Papers describe how the nation would function under the new Constitution. Essay 10 of the Federalist Papers was written by America's founding father, James Madison. The main idea of Essay 10 explains why a republic is better than a pure democracy, since it will protect the inalienable rights of all citizens. He argues against a pure democracy because the majority vote will always win against the minority. Therefore, if the minority's views are not protected, then they are vulnerable, and their rights will constantly be threatened. He describes how the current government is unstable and that factions are the biggest threat to the country. Madison explains that if we adopt the Constitution, then it will stop the violence that factions cause. A faction is a group of people that want power over the government in order to force their own ideas onto society. A modern-day example of factions are the Democratic and Republican parties. Madison states there are two methods of curing the mischiefs of factions. The one by removing its causes, the other by controlling its effects. America's population was rapidly growing in 1787, and the nation was built on the foundation of freedom. Madison argues that if the government completely destroys factions, then we are simultaneously destroying people's freedom, which is worse. Since the cause of factions cannot be prevented, we can only control its effects by using a republican style of government rather than a pure democracy. In Essay 10, Madison aims to protect the rights of the American people by stating that a pure democracy will always be unable to prevent the dangers of factions. Question 2. Presidential elections take place every 4 years, and the general election takes place during November. Candidates will raise money and campaign in advance to gain support from their followers. During the presidential primaries, voters will select their preference among the candidates. On election day, voters cast ballots to choose electors that belong to a presidential candidate. The people's votes tell the electors how the state should vote. This group of electors is known as the Electoral College. A presidential candidate will win a state's Electoral College votes based on the winner-takes-all method, except for Maine and Nebraska. In the winner-takes-all method, a candidate who gets the majority of votes wins all of the state's electoral votes. A candidate that receives at least 51% of the votes from a certain state will win all of the state's electoral college votes. A candidate needs 270 electoral votes to be president. All states receive a certain number of electors based on its population. The map shows us that Texas gets 34 electoral college votes because they have a large population size. On the other hand, Louisiana receives 9 electoral college votes because they have a small population size. The Electoral College was designed to protect the rights of smaller states during a presidential election. The Founding Fathers established the Electoral College since it would not be fair for certain states to control the rights of others. the Electoral College prevents states with large populations from dominating states with smaller populations. People that live in different states, like California and Rhode Island, have different beliefs, and the Electoral College protects a smaller population's voice during a presidential race to ensure that the election is honest. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed my final exam presentation.